What's up, everyone? This is Nina Perez, and this is Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. And I'm so stoked today because I've been looking forward to having this conversation with Leona Douglass. Okay, she is from Empowering Wellness. She's a shamanic energy healer with over 20 years of experience and a globetrotter who's visited more than 100 countries. Now, Leona blends a wealth of modalities. So she has, I'm going to probably say this wrong, Theta healing, right?
Link.
Reiki. All right, somatic energy release, NLP, and even a quantum frequency device called Healy. Now, I really love the energy of this woman. Like the first time we met, I was like, whoa, who are you? And can we talk? Okay. So she also hosts like destination wellness retreats around the world, and she helps busy entrepreneurs shed limiting beliefs because all of you have them. I know you do because we all do. And this way you can unlock your highest potential. Now, if you're curious about the power of chakra balancing, spiritual life, coaching, next level personal expansion, all this great stuff, then you're in the right place. Leona, welcome to Straight Talk. How are you?
I am fabulous. Thank you. I'm so here and share all about how self-love and growth and expansion can really help level you up, not only in your life, but in your business, and help create a higher frequency and vibration so that you can attract those ideal people like clients and soulmates and everything coming in when you raise that vibration. So I thought today would
Mm.
wear my Love Guru shirt because I'm all about teaching people self love, self care, and that it all starts from within. That love for self is so key in order to then be able to raise your frequency and vibration to then be the match through law of abundance of all those things coming in.
There's so many questions I have for you about that, right? Because you've been doing this for over 20 years, right, in the health and wellness space. And let's start there because I want to know a little bit more about you. So, you know, who are you and why? What sparked this initial calling to becoming this energy healer? And how did this start? Why did this start?
So innately, I always kind of knew I was a healer. Ever since a little kid, if someone got hurt, I was the first person to bring like an ice pack or a band-aid or rub a shoulder if someone was hurt. And I knew that innately in me, there was some sort of drive to be able to heal and help. And I started actually very young at the age of 12, shadowing different physical therapists and working with people to see like what type of rehab. And it really got me into sports medicine athletic training because that was going to be a stepping stone for PT. And then when I really started working into some PT clinics and volunteering and seeing how the system worked, right, or didn't work, and how it was very kind of cookie cutter system for a lot of things, and insurance dictated a lot of the patient care, it didn't really resonate and fill me up as much as I thought it was going to.
Mm.
I finished my athletic training program school. I actually went to massage school, and then that's where the real spark of interest, because my massage teacher said, you could work on cruise ships or in Club Med or all these different places. And I went, ooh, cruise ships, like I could travel, work, and help people and all these things at the same time. And that's really where the traveling to 107 countries started, was on cruise ships and then private and charter yachts. And then I taught English abroad, and I learned Thai massage when I was living in Thailand teaching English. And it
Oh
just
my gosh.
kept having this thirst for knowledge of how to help people in different modalities. And now I have 13 plus certifications. I am always learning and growing and expanding, because then when I get those tools, then I can help my clients in other ways with their growth and expansion and with new tools. And so really, I just always innately knew I was a healer. And when I became a Reiki practitioner when I was in college, I actually wrote an 18-page medical research paper for the alternative healing options for AIDS patients. And in that,
Mm.
and I thought, oh my gosh, this is such an amazing practice in energy healing that I could work not only in person, but long distance with someone and remotely. And I was like, wow, that ripple effect that I could create with not only the people around me, but like all around me globally, because I could work remotely, just was so fascinating. And then when the Healy came into my life, the quantum frequency device that worked remotely, and when I learned about Theta healing and became an executive healer with Theta healing, and that worked remotely, I was like, oh my gosh, it's like I have so many tools that I can help reach so far than my small little community here in Florida, right? Like there's only so much you can do when it's only hands on. And I just love
Right.
the energy healing can be done remotely and have such a greater span, because I really believe in the ripple effect. If we work ourselves and heal ourselves and we raise our vibration, then that affects those around us, and then it affects and affects and affects, and it keeps going and going and going and growing, and all of a sudden you have this massive field of energy healing and love that you could have never gotten if you hadn't have had this greater expansion.
Yeah. I'm listening to you. I'm thinking, wow, 13 plus certifications, and you travel the world and you learn different modalities, right? So how do you decide then? How do you help someone? Like, which modality do you use? Like, because I'm thinking, I have ADHD, right? So I know a lot of things, as we all do. And I sometimes like, wait, should I do that method? Because I'm an NLP master practitioner as well. And I know you are as well. And I'm like, do I do that modality? Do I do this one? Do I do this one? So how do you decide? That's a lot of modalities. So how did you decide or blend it together?
This myself, that's a great question. Is I ground and connect myself, and I ask my higher self and my intuition and through creator what is in the highest and best for that person, for the time allotted, and for the session. And so I actually channel things to be done. So we might be starting a conversation with a client here, but it may lead me to here, which is actually where we needed to be. And then I let the energy flow. So if all of a sudden I'm doing a theta healing and I need to send Reiki, I just get sent to do that. Like, I just get drawn. I have a feeling, and I'm clairsentient. I literally get a sensation in my body that's like, this person needs this, and I'll start sending Reiki. Or maybe I bring out my crystals and selenite and do cord cutting. Like, everything just sort of comes in because I've allowed myself to be an open channel to receive from divine, messages, to be able to come in and give what's in the highest and best. So I actually take myself out. It's not an ego thing. It's not I know what's best. It's I allow to receive in order to give the best for the person, and they allow to receive the healing. It's really all about them. It's not about me, sacred space, and have the tools and the knowledge and facilitate, but it's really about them saying the sacred yes for them to receive the healing, to want to make a choice, to choose to do it. It's really just holding space for the client in order to have the healing to take place.
You got my brain going over here. Okay, so I have a couple questions. So one is, you need to explain what theta healing is. That's one. The other one is, who is the divine or creator then? Because you said divine and creator, right? So I'm just very curious about who, when you say that, what does that mean to you?
So creator of all that is the divine source of love and light, God, whatever the name that resonates.
I see.
Is
Okay.
that power. And so when I open my crown chakra, I allow for the energy to come in. And when I use Reiki, I allow my hands to be a channel that's just coming through.
Okay. So Reiki is hands-on.
Hands-on and distance.
Okay.
But
Okay.
feel it through my hands. And when I do even a theta healing, I can do an energetic scan and I can feel energy off in a body even remotely.
Okay.
Feel the sensation of where something might be blocked, like it might feel thick or stagnant, or it might feel kind of vibrational, like there's a lot going on. Like sometimes I'll get to someone's head and there'll be like this battle or this pull, and I'm like, are you battling something? Are you like toying with one thing and another, and like two sides of you are like parts, right? For parts integration, or
parts integration, yeah.
Another, like I can energetically almost feel the internal battle when it's happening. And if it's in someone's chakras, and it's like, say it's in their solar plexus and they've lost that personal power, I'll actually get drawn in to their solar plexus, like they need to be filled up because they're having that kind of energy. And because I've been doing it for I kind of know my telltales, and then I ask, does this resonate? Have you been feeling this? And it starts a conversation, and then they tell me what they really need in the session. Source, energy, divine, God, love, and light to come through me to be able to help heal. So
got it.
I think is through the power, through the words, through the receiving of the energy. It's like everything. And that's why I like to blend a lot of different modalities, is because I just allow it to flow. And so I'm not going like, you're signing up for theta healing and that's all you're getting today. Like, no, it's like, well, if you need some Reiki and some crystal healing, and maybe the Healy comes in, or you need an oracle card and like a clarity card that comes in, and I'm going to bring out like, one of my cards of inspiration that comes in. Like, I just kind of allow it to happen. And that's the thing about me, is I've really stepped out of like making it have to be a certain way and just allowing to be in the flow of the healing.
Yeah, yeah. I think that someone who is a master in their craft or smart in their craft allows that to happen as opposed to following a rule book, right? I do the same thing. Like if somebody in my program, I don't really, I integrate NLP ideas and practices into my coaching business, but I don't let them know like, oh, today we're doing, blah, blah, blah. We just do it, right? But I think you really have to be intuitive and smart and really like well in your craft for you to do something like that. Otherwise, you get stuck in your head. Well, no, no, no. We said we were doing this modality, and then it doesn't serve your person, right? So
Absolutely.
I know that you're helping entrepreneurs and you're really helping them to really like finally release any kind of limiting beliefs and blockages. So I was really curious, like, what is the one or the biggest common mindset block that you're seeing with your entrepreneurs that they're struggling with, and how do you help them overcome that?
That's a great question. So I'll first start off with explaining what theta healing is, and then go.
Yes.
Theta healing is getting into a theta brainwave. So we have different brainwaves. We have alpha, delta, gamma, theta. Theta is that brainwave frequency that allows for um, basically the frequency and the vibration of the theta brainwaves is that meditative state or hypnosis state, right? When we're doing NLP meditation, we're in that theta brainwave. It's that right before sleep.
Okay.
And that's where transformation can happen. So when I guide my client, we're speaking, we're getting to the root, we're getting to the root cause, we're getting into it. Then I can guide them up into a theta healing state, into a guided meditation. And then I bring them to what I call to the seventh plane of love and light. So we're in our third dimensional body. Then we have the fourth and fifth plane. Sixth is where all the quantum, all the laws of the universe are. And seventh is where divine source, love and light, God, whatever your word is for that higher power is. And we connect to that energy because that's pure energy of love and light. There's nothing else that can exist there. And then that's when we actually take out those limiting beliefs. We command that they are removed. It's like
Mm,
for us older people, out of the tape player or that CD player or switching tracks and like hitting next on a thing. We're literally pulling them out and then we're refilling them with what they need. And so a lot of entrepreneurs, I'm feeling a lot right now, is like that inner critic, that inner dialogue, the I'm not enough. I have these things, but like I need more in order to get to the next thing. And they don't really
right.
get that we actually have everything within us. We just might have suppressed it. Something happened from the ages of 0 to 7.
Yeah.
It's an inner child, or maybe it's an inner ego, right? So I try to get the inner critic, the inner ego, the inner child to be in its optimal thing so they can really listen to their intuition. We want people to be able to quiet those voices that say that they're not enough and that they don't have enough and that they're in lack, because if you're in lack, then you're always wanting, then you're not showing the universe for that law of attraction that you actually have
Hmm.
within you. So you have to clear that out, raise your frequency and vibration, put in the learnings and the lessons from the unconscious minds, learning and lessons of what you actually want and already have, because you're wanting it, but you forgot that you already have it. It's already within.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I just allow them to remember what's them. And then they step into that power. And then it gives them those tools and those lessons and those aligned action steps, those divine aligned action steps that gets them to the next way, that gets themselves literally out of their own way in order to be able to attract, have abundance, have those ideal clients, that aligned, compatible soulmate. Whatever it is that they're wanting to really bring into their life, we clear out what's blocking it so that they can be in that vibrational match to bring that.
Hmm. Hmm. I do that with some of my clients and myself with hypnosis, right? And just like clearing out a bunch of things and taking our subconscious mind and asking our subconscious mind, are you ready to let this go? Because we need to let this go, right? So when you're doing that and you're raising up the vibration, well, first of all, let me ask you this, because I speak to, and a lot of people listen to the show, and a lot of people that listen to the show are entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, coaches, things like that. So is this a long process? Can it be done in one session? Is it a multiple session thing? Like, I'm wondering, because I'm pretty sure they're thinking that sounds like a lot of work, right? So I wanted to know what you thought.
So you can release a limiting belief if you're ready and you're
Yeah.
actually committing and you have your sacred yes and you're like, no, like it is like the buck stops here. Like I am done with this tape repleter or recorder of saying these things over and over again, if you're really ready to let go of that specific limiting belief, it can happen in one session. Yeah. Now, release that, we're onions, right? Then something else could pop up, and that can be. So it is a process and a journey, but can you release a limiting decision or belief in a one-time session? Absolutely. And it's actually easy and effortlessly done. And it's not as hard as you think it is. It's only in your mind's eye that you make it hard.
Yeah, no, it's very true. And it's because our brain is scared, right? So it's going to hold on to what it knows. It's a habit. And so you have to create a new habit, like a new muscle. And I think people forget that. So they feel inspired and motivated. That's why I don't really believe in motivation. I think motivation is great for the start. But if you think motivation is going to keep you going, you're in big trouble, right? Because you're not going to be motivated every day. You have to like push yourself. You have to do things even despite the feeling of not wanting to, right? So I'm just, go ahead.
We'll muscle test them to see, like, are they ready? Is there a fear blocking them from this? And we'll actually get, a lot of times we'll talk to their subconscious through muscle testing to actually what it is that's blocking them, and then be like, okay, if that's blocking you, but you really want that, let's get rid of that first, and then we can go into this. So there is kind of a process that I go through. I go through a scan, I go through muscle testing, and then I teach people how to muscle test themselves so they can keep using that skill to be able to ask questions, what's in their highest and best, even as small things, because I am so much into health and wellness, because spirituality is part of your whole wellness, right? Like whole holistic healing is mind, body, and spirit, right? So all you the supplement in my highest and best, and they'll muscle test to see if that's in their highest and best. Like, is this routine or this launch or this thing? You can actually muscle test and ask your highest and best, is this for me? Is this in alignment? Is this going to take me to that next step? And that's what's so cool about what I do, is not only am I helping them in the session, but I give people tools to be able to utilize and continue during their own practice.
That was my next question, right? Is sustaining that shift, right? Because when someone experiences the breakthrough, how do they keep it, right? How do they keep that energy alive in their daily life, in their business, even after they've seen you or been to one of your retreats, which I actually want to talk about a little bit too. So you give them the tools then to keep like muscle testing and making sure that they're keeping themselves in a high frequency, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of tools that you utilize that I teach, using, even helping, like, people don't realize the energetics and physical are so interconnected. And so if you do a physical healing with someone, it can help energetically. If you do an energetic healing, it can help physically. And one of my favorite tools is, after an energy healing, is to get my clients to do an Epsom salt bath, because it's energy clearing and physically clearing, and it's detoxifying. So I teach people how to do these types of tools, what type of essential oils are best to add into it, what's the ratio and formula, how many minutes, I let them really be able to have the tools to continue with it.
Great.
That's what I love about my retreats, is like, I immerse people in an experience, but I'm leading them up to the experience. We have intention setting calls and everything. So I really know what they're wanting to have from the retreat and the experience. They're like desired, like their real heart's desires. Like, what are they wanting from this retreat and experience?
Right.
Immerse them in it. They have all these amazing experiences with these different modalities, like cacao ceremonies and sound healing and yoga and meditation and breath work, and the list goes on, right? Somatic energy release. And then afterwards, I then help them integrate back into the real world. Like, it's amazing to have transformation in the experience, but it's also important to maintain those effects going forward, right? And so I then help them integrate back into the real world with these new tools in order to keep continuing that process. Because healing's always a journey. If we're not moving and going, we're stagnant and dying. Like, that's just,
that's anything. Yeah, that's anything, right? And it's just like, I'm hearing you talk and I'm thinking, yeah, and I'm hearing you talk and say, the real world. And sometimes I don't even think this world is real. Like, I just don't even think the world is real. Like, it's just like so many things, like, especially, when I'm like yesterday I was working on a program I'm doing, and then I just had like YouTube in the background, just like playing while I was working. And everything just seems like a lie. Like, everything seems like a phony, fake. Let's keep everybody in fear and low vibration, and let's keep everybody in this energy of survival and victim mentality bull crap that just infuriates me, right?
Do it. I only have frequency music playing 99.9% of the time, and I don't listen to anything else because it is all a lie, and it's a projection, and they want you to perceive something, and then you project something, and if they're in that low vibration, then they keep you that way. And so I don't put the crap in. The real world is really your perspective and how you do things and how you integrate. And so don't let that other input come in, because that's us. That's not going to raise our heart and bring us love, right? So the real world, it's like your routine, your daily life. You have to incorporate the learnings into those daily life and your routine. And some of those practices are turning the darn TV off. Like instead, you know, you're in a state of like upset, someone upset you, you know, a traffic jam or something, come home, don't put on the news and put in more crap into it. Like, put on music, light some sage, incense, put your essential oils in. Like, you know, I'm like, my Young Living essential oils Stress Away, I feel like is a tropical island bottle, like in a bottle, like smells so good. There's like this lime and vanilla and lavender and cedarwood. I like put a few drops of the Stress Away in the diffuser. I put my music on. I put my things away. I take a few deep breaths and be like, okay, let me reset and going in. But not everybody knows how to reset, and of course, life gets them that way. And then life gets them go down and down and down and down and down, right? And we have to then stop those patterns so that we can course correct and be able to really get them in that higher frequency and going up and up and up, so that way they're being able to attract what they're really wanting. You're in that yuck state, then you're going to keep getting more of the yuck, because our universe is like, oh, you like that? You want more of that? Sure, great. Here's more.
So you know what? Give us something like that. Actually, give everybody who's listening some tips and tools that they can use. Especially, you know, maybe they're listening right now. Maybe they're stressed right now. Maybe they just are like overwhelmed. So because we're going to be wrapping up soon, and I want them to have your information to contact you and work with you. But I want to give them a takeaway, right? So you just gave a couple of great little examples. I just would like you to give them something that you recommend for someone to start getting their mind right, you know, and into that place. Because you're right. I mean, as entrepreneurs, we get overwhelmed. We're overworked. We think we're getting into this for one thing. It turns out to be something different. Nobody tells you the truth when you're first getting into this. So you think, oh, I'm going to be on a beach somewhere with my laptop, just drinking mimosas. And then you realize, no, I'm working 14-hour days. Like, right? So we need to learn how to pull back on that. And I want you to just give us a couple things we can do to kind of reset.
Yeah, perfect. So resetting, when you start to notice, so practicing noticing and being aware of how your body feels is first. The practice, that's why yoga is a practice, meditation is a practice, breathwork is a practice. It's a practice when you're off. So when you do notice, sometimes it's like real extreme, but when you start practicing, it becomes less. So you can be like, I'm a little off kilter, right? So the first step would be the notice, then accept that that's okay. Forgive yourself for not being where you want to be, and then course correct. It takes only 2 minutes of deep breathing to reset your nervous system. So I really love life breaths when you ground and connect. And life breaths are when you inhale for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4, and then hold at the bottom for a count of 4. And they call it box breathing or breathing or 4 count, or there's lots of different names for it. I like alternating nostril breathing as well, because it makes you focus. Counting, that quiets the mind monkey, you know, of the breathing in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4. Anything that can stop and pause and let the chaos just for a moment so that you can go inward and be present. The present is called the present for a reason. It's a gift. We're gifted this breath of life. We are gifted these lungs. Breathe, but sometimes we have to go, I need to calm and reset my nervous system. So breathing for 2 minutes helps to reset the nervous system. Breathing in, of course, some essential oils, like my favorite, Stress Away, frankincense, lavender, things that are grounding, calming. Think about like tree oils, your frankincense, your cedarwood, they've got roots. They're grounding, pine, right? They're grounding. If you want to feel uplifted, if your energy is not high, think of things that are going to be bright and uplifting, like peppermints and citrus and spearmints that are going to be uplifting. So if you need to be calmed down, tree oils, you want to be lifted, more of your citrus and mints that kind of bring you up. Breathe that in with your breath, your life breaths, the counts of 4, or alternating nostril breaths, whatever works for you. And then the third thing is energy clearing can be as simple as taking a piece of selenite, which clears your energy field, or a sage or Palo Santos, and just doing some clearing. And one of my favorite ways to clear if you've been in a heavy situation is to cross from shoulder to hip, down the arm 3 times, shoulder to hip, cross down the arm, and again, shoulder to hip, down the arm, and shake it off and let it transmute to Mother Earth, because Mother Earth helps to clear. Ground, if you could be outside and ground into Mother Earth as well. You can use your sage, your selenite, or your Palo Santos to even clear energetically more. And just take a moment and say, okay, I'm okay. I'm here. I'm with my breath. Everything's going to be okay. I'm going to breathe and then say, okay, intuition, higher self, what is my next best step? What is my next aligned action step that I need to do? Is it I need to put the laundry in now, or I need to make that phone call? And just take a moment to pause and connect to yourself. Ask, see what your unconscious mind, your higher self says, and then just do one step at a time. That creates momentum, that creates motion. Things in motion stay in motion. That gets you back on track.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. You know, of course, I do like I like the grounding piece. By the way, I go outside. I put my feet on the. I just love that feeling, right? I just love that energy feeling. And yeah, and for me, it's a lot of prayer and meditation. Just a lot of prayer and meditation always centers me, and I believe in the breathing as well. That is key because we don't even realize that we don't breathe. We don't breathe properly. Yeah. And then when you're stressed out and nervous, you don't even realize until you go that you haven't been even taking a breath. You know what I mean? Like our body just restricts, right? Because our body keeps the score. Exactly. Exactly. So, Leona, before I wrap up and let you go to your client center, your client might be waiting. Can you please let everyone know how they can work with you, find you, follow you, all that kind of great stuff?
Yes, absolutely. So my website is empoweringwellness.me, because it's all about you empowering your health and wellness. So empoweringwellness.me. And that has all my links to my YouTube Empowering Wellness, to my Leona's Wellness Retreats on Instagram, to Leona's Healing Hands on my Facebook, like all the different things. LinkedIn, Leona Douglass. You can see me and my name on all the different platforms. I love to connect with people. The next way you can connect with me is I have an upcoming inner critic masterclass, Taming the Inner Critic,
Oh, cool.
happening on March 5th. I also have amazing in person if you're in the Jacksonville, Florida area on March 22nd. I'm having an in person sound healing where we're going to talk about crystals, their healing powers, crystal gridding, sound healing, and theta healing. And it's all going to be done in Jack's Beach. You're going to be grounding and having Mother Earth and Mother Ocean there to support you and hold you during that healing and transformation experience. And then really exciting things coming up are in fall in Rincon, Puerto Rico. It's going to be an amazing retreat. And then next summer is going to be on a Croatian yacht around the islands in Croatia, a beautiful transformational week.
Nice.
And then the next summer, I'm on a trip that's going to be more land based, that we're going to be hiking and biking and meditation and spas and going like into old cool parts of like Germany and like spas and healing waters and things like that. So
Wow.
empoweringwellness.me, you can subscribe to my email list. We're going to be updating it with more retreats as the more research I go. As been to going to 107 countries, like there's so many parts of the world I want to bring people to. So I have to do it small little increments because I get really excited about bringing everybody. The world is so healing when you get out of your own way.
Yes.
Culture and experiences and the energy of these places and the healing waters. I mean, just being in the Mediterranean Sea, like I can't wait for people to understand that, like when you bathe yourself with intention and the energy of that healing, or sit underneath that sun to do your yoga on that, sun deck on the yacht, like how recharging that is for the body. I'm so excited. So everything, you can subscribe to my emails and get all the updates on empoweringwellness.me. And I really hope to be able to help empower your health and wellness journey. Try a frequency healing session with me. Remember, they're remote. All of my remote healings and sessions can be done remotely as well. And if you're in the Florida area, I'd love to meet you in person. You can come to my Zen Den right here, because I am a body worker, energy worker. So I do fascial stretch therapy. So if you need stretch work or body work or energy work, I'm your girl. And I love to incorporate it
That's
all together.
awesome.
Realize when they get on my table, they're getting frequency and healings and stretch and massage and all the things all in one. So it's
That's
amazing.
so good. You know what? Thank you so much, Leona. This was such a great conversation. I really appreciate you taking the time. I know that we were getting on, y'all. She was like, "Okay, let me leave the door open. My client's coming in." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, okay, let's hurry." So glad. But thank
Hi,
you so much.
Divine timing. The world needed to hear this message just to reset, pause, breathe, and know that divine timing, that you're supposed to be where you're supposed to be at. And when you start working on your heart and you invest in yourself, that you raise that frequency and vibration, you become that vibrational match for what you are seeking. Remember, what you're seeking is seeking you. You just have to be in that right vibration and energy. So let me help.
That's so awesome. Where in Florida are you? Or if people are like locally?
Jacksonville, Florida, North Florida.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here with me, Leona. I appreciate you. Thank you
so much.
So good. All right, guys, right? I know. So go ahead and make sure you follow her and like her. I'm going to make sure all the notes are below so that you have a way to contact Leona. And, if this is what you'd like to do, like clearing out your energy and breaking limiting beliefs and all of that, or if you're living in the Jackson area, maybe you're going to go and visit. But what I wanted to do was have Leona come on because just a couple of times that I have had interaction with her, she's really inspired a lot of the people in my audience and the people that we were around. And I love people who are intentional about bringing good to the world and doing it in different ways and just really showing up for people. And I love that. I love her. I love her energy. I love what she's about. So I want to make sure that I gave you that gift. So guys, thank you so much for being with us. I love you. I adore you. Thank you for all of the fun things that you do, growing our channel, expanding us, doing all that great stuff. So make sure you like, share, subscribe. You know the drill. Until next time.